Hello, hello. This is Say You Love with Crystal Lavender, and I am Crystal Lavender. It is an honor to be here, and I appreciate all of you that join in. So we're going to get started with why'd they do it? Why in tarnation did they do it, right? Let's see. We're going to go in order from Aries to Pisces. And we're going to figure out why they did it. Whatever it is, whatever it is. And then we'll throw some cards to see what sort of advice we got on what they could say to you if they could. All right. So before we get started, I just want to mention that I am a published author. That's why my channel is called Say You Love. I wrote this book. It's called Say You Love. And it is a testimony of triumph over the darkness of childhood sexual abuse and addiction. And I wrote this all with my little phone. So if you're thinking that you can't write a book because you don't have a laptop or you don't have this technology or you don't have that technology, I guarantee you carry around the technology in your pocket every single day. And you are perfectly capable. Like I just did text to talk, and then I edited in a Word app and sent it off. And I published it through Amazon KDP. And you are perfectly capable of doing the same thing. So if you ever need information on how to go about writing a book, feel free to hit me up. My Gmail is s.y.l.sayyoulove@gmail.com. And I'd be more than happy to answer any questions you got. So let's get this started. So why did they do it, Aries? We're going to start with Aries. And we want to know why they did it, whatever it is. Why'd they do it? Why did they do it, Aries? Why'd they do it? What is up with my Aries collective and why this person did whatever they did to them? I hope everyone out there is having a wonderful full moon in Sagittarius. This full moon is definitely shaking some things up. Sagittarius are fire signs, and my moon is in Sagittarius. He's shaking it up, shaking it up. Hi, Mom. Ooh, betrayal. I don't know if they felt betrayed by you. Cycles. Maybe that's just the kind of person that this person is, Maybe that's just who they are. It says they will come back to you, but first they got to sort some things out, But it looks like you guys have gone through a cycle of hurt and betrayal. It's like this repeated cycle. Maybe you let them get away with it a couple times, so they figured they could get away with it. And then this last time, maybe you put your foot down and you didn't let them get away with it. But it seems like this has been a repeating pattern for this person. So it's not anything that you did besides maybe let them get away with it a couple of times, so they thought they were in smooth sailing, Maybe that's just what this person does. It might not be a you thing. Like if you listen to their stories about their exes, they probably, if you listen to the story from their ex, not from them, but from their ex, is probably the same story. I had an ex one time that all the things that he said that his ex did to him were the things that he had done to her, so it was easy to keep his lies straight. So why'd they do it? It says surrender. Maybe they surrendered to the fact that they were no good for you, Sometimes people know when they're not being no good. Sometimes people will leave because they love you and they know that they're hurting you. Or sometimes you just leave because you surrendered to to not having to put up with their ish no more. Well, they probably found somebody else that they could play games on, someone that was like more willing to let them do that, more willing to let them slide with whatever it is that they were doing. But I don't think that you put up with any of this. Aries usually don't put up with no bullshit. You might have let them put up with some bullshit a couple times, you know, and they thought that they could keep getting away with it. But I think this just is like you make them look too much at themselves, you know, you make them look too much at themselves. And maybe they didn't like what they saw in the mirror. You know, they didn't like how you made them look to themselves. Like you trigger them to be accountable, you know, and they didn't like it, but they don't want to see themselves like that. So they run off to somebody else that they could play games with. You know, I really believe that this is a kind of person that plays these games. Like this is a repetitive cycle for them. And it ain't nothing to do with you. We got one that flipped over. What is it? Yeah. What will people say? What will people say when they find out? You know, gossip. It really feels like they did what they did because before you let them get away with it, you know? And they probably got sloppy. They got comfortable and got sloppy. And they figured they weren't going to get caught. And maybe if they did get caught, like you'd let it slide. They'd convince you to let it slide, but you didn't let it slide that time. Yeah, they were too tempted. They had too much of a choice. Temptation. They figured they could get away with it. And it's sad how many people would go and do bad things if they thought that they could get away with it, you know? How many people would steal from the grocery store if the clerk wasn't standing at the register watching them, you know? How many people would cheat on their person if they thought they could, you know, ultimately get away with it and their person would never find out? Yeah, and they got fears. They got fears of being rejected. They don't want to find out. They don't want you to find out what kind of person they are. You know, but if you talk to their exes, you'd probably find out that this is a repeating pattern for them. This is nothing new. They're playing the same old games that they knew that they would lose, you know? It's like a Saint Ansonia song. Playing games that I knew I'd lose. Here we got that again. I just shuffled and cut the deck and it was right back to the same thing. So it's like they knew that you weren't going to put up with it. You know, they knew that you were going to find out what kind of person they were. So they bounced before you could bounce on them. They bounced before you could figure out what it was that they were up to or like what kind of shady person they really truly were. You know, because what would people say? What are you going to say? What are they going to say? You know? Let's get one from this guy. So we know why they did it. Because they have a repeating pattern. You know, this is a pattern that they repeat. They'll just be off finding someone else to let them repeat the same patterns. You know, and that's not a you problem. That's a them problem. You might want to evaluate why you let them get away with whatever they got away with before. But yeah, don't give up hope on your situation. Like you got the star card. You know, some of you could be dealing with an Aquarius. You know, or maybe some of them hope that you'll let them slide. Just one more time, baby. I swear it'll never happen again, you know? And like how many times do they have to say that? How many times are they going to say that to you before you finally put your foot down? Just like, nope, no more. Yeah, they probably have some sort of addiction issues. We got the devil here. Probably have some sort of addiction issues that are definitely not improving. They could be addicted to that chase, addicted to the idea of the next love, that fluttery butterfly feeling. Sometimes relationships are an addiction for people, and they only hang out as long as it feels good, because it's filling some sort of void that they have inside themselves that ain't ever going to get filled outside themselves. So they might be looking to outside sources to try to fill that void. And they could have some sort of addiction issues or alcohol problems, or they could just be addicted to relationships in general, but this is definitely a repeating cycle for this person. And it has nothing to do with you. Like, it's not like they might have made you feel like, oh, it was your fault. But in reality, that's just who this person is, and they don't like looking at themselves in the mirror like that. That's really good news. That's really good news, Mom. Yeah, and they got the Tower. They know that all their lies and all their deceit and all their stuff is just going to be, it's just going to blow up in their face. So they try to move on before a person can figure out who they are, before a person figures out like what they're doing or that they have an addiction. Maybe it's a secret addiction. Like, most people wouldn't even know that they are addicted or are an alcoholic. They might be taking a water bottle full of vodka with them to work, and they're one of them high functioning type of like addicts or alcoholics. Let's see what sort of advice we can get from the 4 agreements. What sort of advice does the 4 agreements have for my Aries people? Find the courage to ask for what you want others to have the right to tell you yes or no. Oh, wait. Find the courage to ask what you want. Others have the right to tell you yes or no, but you always have the right to ask. Likewise, everybody has the right to ask you for what they want, and you have the right to say yes or no. Don't let nobody bully you into doing something that you don't want to do. If you know that you don't want to do something, or you know that you really truly can't forgive somebody, then don't try to play like you can forgive them. Don't lay in bed next to them acting like you believe them when you know that you don't believe them. You're not doing yourself a service. You're not doing them a service either. If you honestly, truly don't believe somebody is good for you, or you don't believe that they are telling you the truth, it's better just to tell them, hey, like, I can't move forward with this. As much as it might hurt, like, it will hurt you more in the long run to stay laying next to somebody that you don't trust. What else can we get from the 4 agreements? It says you do your best when you are enjoying the action or doing it in a way that will not have negative repercussions for you. You do your best because you want to do it, not because you have to do it, not because you are trying to please the judge, and not because you are trying to please other people. Yeah, no people pleasing. I got that card again. I just pulled it out again. That's crazy. Let's see what sort of messages we have from the angels. What sort of messages do we have from the angels for our Aries collective? Aries collective. It says, child, you care deeply about children, and they readily respond to your love. All children, including your own inner child, require love, affection, and attention. We can clear and open your heart and schedule so that you can give more time and energy to the children who need you. So maybe it's your inner child. Like, your inner child is like, would you want your daughter dating whoever this fool is that you're trying to bring back into your life, or that you want answers from? Would you want to see your daughter with this person? That's always a good question to ask yourself if you're in a relationship with somebody that you feel maybe toxic. It's like, would you want your son or your daughter to be with this person? Then why would you want them to be with you? It's like, we always want the bad guy to be good just for us, and we always want the good girl to be good just for us. But like, we forget that they're the bad guy, and then we get mad because they're the bad guy. They turn out to be the bad guy. Giving and receiving. The entire universe operates in cycles similar to your inhalations and exhalations. When you only exhale, give, or you only inhale, receive, you become out of rhythm with the universe. For optimal health, energy, and replenishing, balance each inhalation in your life with an exhalation. Right? There's got to be an equal give and take. And givers have to set boundaries because takers never do. Like, you think that, eventually a person will stop taking. You're like, I've given you this and this and this and this and this. And like, no, they will not. They will not stop taking. You have to set boundaries yourself and you have to stand on them. Otherwise, people will just keep walking all over you. You'll be a yes man to everybody. Don't be a yes man. And it says, notice the signs. Yes, the signs you've been receiving are heaven sent. We drop feathers, coins, and other signs upon your path to remind you that you are loved and never alone. All right. So Aries, those are the messages that I have for you guys today. Let me see. We are going to move on to Taurus. Hello, hello. Welcome in. So why'd they do it, universe? For Taurus, why'd this person do it? Whatever it is, you know exactly what it is that you're wanting to know about, And we're going to ask why they did it. We'll see what the cards have to say. Why'd they do it for Taurus? I want to get all stuck together. Why'd they do it? Whatever it is, my watchers want to know why they did it. Why'd they do it? It says, my heart is stuck on you, that they're consumed. Before I speak on that, I'm going to try to get some more. There could be a couple different reasons for that. Boundaries needed, and they were in the reverse. It says, I am married or committed. Did you know? I can't remember if I told you. Ooh, Taurus. So this person is in a relationship, but you are nonstop on their mind. Like, they might have been talking to you on the side, you know what I mean? Trying to play the field, or, you might have met them through some sort of like inbox, some sort of social media. They just hit up your inbox out of nowhere, but ding, but they're in some sort of relationship and they don't know how to come forward and tell you that because you are constantly on their mind. It's like they can't stop thinking about you. But that's an instantaneous red flag, man. Instantaneous. If somebody is in a relationship with somebody, that is an automatic, like, hard no. As tempting as it might be, and it sucks when people do that to you, when they start talking to you and then you get a message from their wife, like, accusing you of being some home wrecker or something, and you had no idea, And it doesn't matter what sort of excuse they give you, like, oh, my wife, she doesn't make me happy, Well, if your wife doesn't make you happy, then you need to leave her before you come talking to me, because I am not that woman. I am not that person. I do not play that way, and maybe they know that about you. So they're like scared to tell you, but they can't get you off their mind. Yeah. And they have the runner. They're running. Intense fear. It don't matter if they can't get you off their mind. You know what I mean? If they're in a committed relationship, they need to either break up with them and then move forward from there, or like, erase your number or something. And you make them look at themselves and they don't like what they see. Especially if they're in a relationship. I mean, if they're willing to do that with you, they're willing to do that on you, If they're willing to cheat with you, they'll cheat on you. Guaranteed, 100% bet, No questions asked. So don't play into this game with them. If they're in some sort of committed relationship and they're like, oh, but she doesn't fulfill me, she doesn't make me happy like you do, or, they're so abusive. It's like, okay, well, if that's the case, then go ahead and break up with them. And then you could talk to me. And then they're going to come back and say that it's complicated, ain't nothing complicated about it. And again, you are constantly on my mind. So yeah, they definitely think about you a lot. They think about you a lot, but that's not what the problem is. The problem is that they're in some sort of committed relationship and they're not saying nothing. Like, oh, oops, did I forget to mention that part? It's like being allergic to peanuts and not telling that to your partner. You guys are talking about things that you like to eat or what, sort of food restrictions you have. And, you go and make them some sort of like curry peanut soup or something. And then you find out that they're allergic to peanuts like a little bit too late. It's like, I already made this, So yeah, I'd watch out for that one, Taurus. And if they could tell you something, they would tell you, that I feel like home in your arms. They tell you all these wonderful things, like you are on their mind. They do have feelings for you, but they are not willing to leave their complicated relationship in order to pursue anything real with you. They might tell you all these things that you want to hear and they might actually, really feel that way. But I mean, that's still a hard no, man. That's a hard no. If somebody's in a relationship with somebody, that's a hard no. It says discernment. If you drew this card, perhaps it's time to ask yourself, is this person even worth it? It's like, is it worth going through all that drama with somebody that's in a committed relationship? Like, I guess their partner feels like they're committed, but if he's out there talking to you or she's out there talking to you, then they don't feel like it's committed. And is it really worth all that drama? Only you can find the answer to that. I mean, sometimes we got to play these games so that way we know which games not to play. See what sort of messages the angels have for you. What sort of messages do you have for the Taurus collective, angels? Please and thank you. What do you desire? You now have the opportunity to write the script according to your heart's true desires. Once you clearly decide upon what your true desires and know that you are ready and deserving of them, they will rush into your life like magic, right? So tell me what you want, what you really, really want. Do you really, really want somebody that's already with somebody else? Yeah, no, probably not. We'll add like definitely single to the list of, the list we send to the universe. We're writing a list of like all our wants and our desires in another partner or a person. Sometimes we have to be real specific. Like, can you make sure they're single, please, universe? And like, not just single, like as of yesterday and going to be crying on your shoulder about how much they miss their ex, but like have healed single, Some people will only break up with somebody else if they have a new partner, They won't spend the time to heal. They won't spend the time to work on themselves. Like it's almost like finding another job only if you have a job, even though you hate the job that you have. They'll only find another partner if they already have another partner lined up on the side. And like, that ain't cool. That ain't cool if you're doing it. That ain't cool if they're doing it. So make sure this next person is like healthy single. And it says, listen, quiet your mind, beloved one, and listen to the gentle reassurance that everything has been taken care of. Stay in the quiet and receptive state without worrying about the exact nature of your desired manifestations. A quiet mind and body hears us the quickest and the most clearly. This is our request to you. Listen, right? Listen. Like, don't be messing with nobody that's in a committed relationship. Like, I feel like really I shouldn't have to say that, but whew, there are so many people out there that are willing to play that game. And if you're willing to play that game, that's on you. You know what I mean? And we have, from the 4 agreements, we have find the courage to ask for what you want. Others have the right to tell you yes or no, but you always have the right to ask. Likewise, everybody has the right to ask you for what they want, and you have the right to say yes or no. Aries got this card too, so some of you guys might be dealing with an Aries. Doing your best means to take action. You can have many great ideas in your head, but without action upon an idea, there will be no manifestation, no result, and no reward. It's like shit's not just going to fall out of the sky, you know? If you ask the universe for something, like, you have to steadily be knocking on doors in that direction. Proverbial doors. You'll be out in the neighborhood, like, asking your neighbors for, you know, anything more than, like, sugar. What else do we got? All the magic you possess is based on your word. And you cast spells all the time with your opinions. You can either put a spell on someone with your word, or you can release someone from the spell with your word, right? Be careful what you say, because once you say something, it doesn't come back. It's like, poof, into the universe. And some of the Tauruses I know are real stubborn, and they got a mouth on them. My son is a Taurus, and he's got a mouth on him, boy. Say only what you mean. Avoid using the word to speak against yourself or to gossip about others. Use the power of your word in the direction of truth and love. Right? Say you love. S.y.l. Is it true? Is it mean? Is it helpful? You know? Like, think about these things before you speak out. Like, are you speaking out of anger? You know? Is it truth meant to hurt, or is it just truth that hurts because it's the truth? I mean, you can't stop something from hurting just because it's the truth. I'd rather be punched in the face with the truth than kissed with a lie any day. And then we got this card again, to find the courage to ask for what you want. Again with this card. That's crazy. What is this one? Take action without expecting a reward. Do your best and take the action because you love it, not because you expect a reward. When you take action without expecting a reward, you can enjoy every action, and you could even receive greater rewards than you imagined, right? Like, where can the process become, like, the prize? The process is the prize. It's like, because once you get, like, the biggest prize, it's like, okay, now what? You know? So make sure that you enjoy the process of whatever this changes, whatever your desires are, whatever you're manifesting. Like, make sure you enjoy the process of it becoming a reality. Because if somebody was just to hand you, you know, whatever you wanted right away, like, it's like when you're a kid, you know, and your parents buy you something really expensive that you really want, you know, and then, like, the dog eats it, or you leave it on the floor, or you don't care for it as much. But if you put the money and the time and the energy to buy whatever this huge present is that you want, then you have a tendency to, like, cherish it, you know? Like, don't touch that. I bought that, you know? But if somebody else buys it for you, you're like, poof, whatever. All right, let's move on to Gemini. Happy birthday, Gemini. The gem in eyes. Geminis are some of my favorite people, my fellow air signs. Gemini, why did they do it? What in tarnation were they thinking? Why did they do that? Whatever it is. Whatever it is, why did they do it? Why'd they do it, universe? Why'd they do it? Surprise manifest union. Let me get some more cards on that. Small talk and catching up. Maybe they're acting like it's small talk. Ooh, Gemini. Codependence and long addiction behavior. So this person might have just ended up in your inbox, you know, like they were reminiscing about the good old days. And they were like, well, maybe Gemini will give me another chance, you know? Like, I'm going to surprise Gemini and just pop up. After they ghosted you. They ghosted you. And then they're going to be like, surprise, I'm back. Like, you should worship the ground I walk on, you know? They think that you're going to just bow down and, like, forget everything that they did. You know, and this person definitely has some sort of addiction issues and codependency problems. Like maybe they can't find somebody, so they're like, I'm gonna check out and see what Gemini is doing. You know, they expect you to be all happy that they returned, you know, like you're just gonna follow them around like a lost puppy dog, but not so much. Yeah, role reversal. You're like, no. Like if you treated me bad to begin with, then what makes me think that you're gonna treat me any better now? You know? Like if they straight ghosted you, people only ghost you because they're fucking chicken shits. And all the Geminis I know ain't willing to put up with no chicken shit. Like you have to have some cojones. Oh, yeah, and they want a booty call. Their booty call. Like this person might be a sex addict. You know, they might have a porn addiction or a sex addiction, but they definitely have some sort of codependency issues. And they think that they could just slide right into your DMs and you'll be like, oh my God, I've missed you. Like, hell yeah, we could boot it, boot it, boot it. You know, and you're like, hell to the no. Like, how are you going to ghost me and then just be like, surprise, I'm back? I think this person ghosted you because they're a coward. You know? They're a straight coward. Yep. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. Nope, 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 nope. Don't do it. If this person ghosted you before, they will get what they want from you and ghost you again. You know, I mean, unless you're into that kind of thing. Some people ain't into commitment, and that's kind of all they're looking for is like that wham bam, thank you, ma'am, you know? And if that's your cup of tea, then cool. But remember, tea stains, man. Tea is used to stain hides, to stain clothes. Like, the universe says, Yeah, they ghosted you because they're chicken shit. And they think that they could just be like all in your inbox, all surprise, I'm here. And you're just going to be all happy about it. You know? They might be trying to tell you whatever it is that they can tell you to get you in the bedroom. And then they're going to ghost you again. So don't fall for that shit, Gemini. I mean, unless that's your thing. And if that's your thing, then by all means, do your thing. Ain't nobody judging you, you know? As long as you're honest with yourself and you're honest with this person, like who's the judge? You know, maybe they were really good in bed or something, and you're like, all right. And maybe you'll just go ghost on them this time, but then it's like a toxic cycle, you know? Yeah, surprise. Again, they're like, surprise, I ghosted you, but I'm here. Says you are giving your power away. You are badass, act like it. That's one thing about sleeping with people, man. Like you can get spiritual STDs. Like you end up carrying all of like the disease is like dis-ease, you know? And like a soul union, when you sleep with somebody and you become entangled with them energetically like that, like you catch whatever sort of demons they've got. You know, you catch whatever sort of like energy STDs that they be carrying, you know? Some of them be carrying real STDs. Let's see what the 4 agreements has to say. The 4 agreements. What do we got for my Gemini collective? The biggest assumption that humans make is that everyone sees life the way we do. We assume that others think the way we think, feel the way we feel, judge the way we judge, and abuse the way we abuse. We are afraid to be ourselves around others because we think Others will judge us, victimize us, abuse us, and blame us as we do ourselves. Right? Assume is ass, you, me. An assumption makes an ass out of both you and me. It's like one of the major things I learned when I was in drug counseling when I was younger. Assume, ass, you, me. It says doing your best means to take action. You can have many great ideas in your head, but without action upon an idea, there will be no manifestation, no result, and no reward. It says when you hear an opinion and believe it, you make an agreement and it becomes part of your belief system. The only thing that can break this agreement is to make a new one based on truth. Only the truth has the power to set you free. I get the same card. Where's this one? Again with this one. Find the courage to ask for what you want. Others have the right to tell you yes or no, but you always have the right to ask. Likewise, everyone has the right to ask you for what they want, and you have the right to say yes or no. That's like a common theme that's been coming up for every single one of those signs. That's like came out for every single sign so far. Keep your attention on today and stay in the present moment. This is the beginning of a new understanding. Huh. She didn't get stung by a jellyfish. You guys are silly. When you refuse to take things personally, you avoid many upsets in your life. Your feelings of anger, jealousy, and even your sadness will simply disappear if you don't take it personally, right? Man, taking things personally has definitely, like, I've taken some really stupid shit personally. It had nothing to do with me, but I take it personally. You know, I had to really learn how to not take things so personally. From what other people were saying to how I felt other people were acting, or, you know, to just different things that, you know, like coming up to every red light, you know, taking all that shit personal. We're going to move on to Cancer. Cancer. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. All of that stuff. It might be a little click for you, but it's a huge bada boom to me. Like big bada boom. Chicken good. Chicken is good. I mean, if you eat that kind of stuff, you know. So why'd they do it, Cancer? Why did they do it? Let's see. Let's see what the Sacred Soulmate deck has to say about why they did it. Why'd they do it, Cancer? It says you make me look deep within. It says I am separating, divorcing, and moving out this time. So this time they're for reals. This time they're like, oh, for reals this time. And universal hookup. So maybe they think that you're the universal hookup, you know, and you make them take a real good look at themselves, you know. Maybe they like the person that they are whenever they see themselves in the mirror around you. But is that like an outward projection, you know? Like, is that seeking some sort of validation outside of themselves? You got to be careful with that, because what happens when that fades and like you don't fulfill that anymore for them? Then what? What are they going to do? You're the first thing I think about in the morning and the last thing I think at night, all day too. Could this be love? So yeah, this person has a lot of intense feelings for you, Cancer, you know? And if they're with somebody, like, you make them want to not be with this person. You make them think that there's something better out there for them. You are their biggest temptation to say fuck it and whatever it is that they got going on. Like maybe some of them want to move all the way across the country for you, you know, like you tempt them hardcore, but they're in something that they got to end, rather it be like a job or another kind of relationship, or you know, maybe they live with their parents and they're helping their parents out or something. There's something that they got to end before they can move towards you, but they have a lot of love for you. You know, you make them reflect on themselves. You make them accountable for their behavior. Ooh, they got their eye on you. They see how you roll. You know what I mean? They see what you're up to. They see how you roll. Like they see like you're leading them by example, you know? And they want to be better people. Like they are taking your example and want to be better people. They like who they are in the mirror. Whenever they think of you, you know, whenever they think of you and they think of like how you've grown, then they look at themselves and think about how much they've grown. It's like you set an example for them, and they really like that about you. It says they're rereading your text. They might sit and read your old texts over and over again, you know. But this person, I don't think that they have like another relationship that's in the way. It's like it kind of feels like there's like a job, or like they're taking care of like their grandmother, or they're like there's something that's stopping them from completing this connection or fulfilling, like, you know, from saying fuck it and throwing it all out there, you know, but they're really thinking about it. Hold on, I dropped these cards. Which ones were they? Yeah, you can't fix me. That's my job. You know? But I think that you are like leading by example, you know? They see you, what you're doing, they see how much you've healed, and it makes them want to do the same thing. You know, so you're like a catalyst to this person. There is something that's holding them back though. There is something that's holding them back. They're like, no, for reals, I'm going to do it this time. For this time, I'm for real. You know, like they're creeping up on it. They're really contemplating it. Like if they have to move across country or something, like they're really contemplating it. They're really contemplating like taking that huge leap of faith. It says, I'm so lonely without you. I think you guys have had like a really good time in the past. You know, I don't think that anything shady happened. But you might have too many chiefs and not enough Indians. It says too many cooks spoil the stew. You know, there might be too many people that are in their ear, have an opinion. You know, well, if you take off and go across the country, well, what if this happens? And what if that happens? You know, they might have a bunch of people up in their ear, and they're just about ready to take that leap of faith, because they like watching you grow, and they want to grow with you. You know, like you're some sort of catalyst for them, for their growth. Like they see you leading by example. But you got to ask yourself, or they're asking themselves, you know, is this person even worth it? You know, if I quit my job and move across country, you know, is this going to be worth it? Is this going to be a lesson, or is this going to be a blessing? You know, but if you look at it, a lesson really is a blessing. So it's a win-win no matter what, depending on what your perspective is. And you have the end of one cycle and the beginning of another. You know, they got to end something in order to come towards you. You know, whether that be a job or taking care of somebody in their household or something. Yeah, they have responsibilities. They have some sort of responsibilities that is stopping them from making this giant leap of faith to come towards you. But they really want to, you know, they really admire you. Like they admire how you handle yourself, like how you handle yourself in stressful situations, how you've handled yourself, like, with anger, how you handle yourself, like at your work or with your job, or how you handle yourself with your loved ones. Like they admire you. I think they really cherish this connection. Cancer. Let's see what we can get from the rebel. What do we got from the rebel deck? It says, be fucking grateful. Shit could be so much worse. That's so true. I never ask the universe, like, how much worse can it get? Like, no. I don't want to know. I will just be thankful for the great that I have, you know? Like, I know better than to be like, how much worse can it get, universe, you know? Oh, because it will show you. It says, you got a feeling you just can't shake. That little voice inside you, listen to it. Listen to that voice. Listen to it. You know how you can tell the difference between your ego and your intuition? Your intuition is a feeling and it doesn't speak in words, you know? So if you have something that's going on inside, like it's not just a feeling, like, and your mind starts taking over and it starts talking to you in your whatever language you speak, your intuition doesn't speak a language. It speaks energy and feeling and a vibration, you know? But in a split second after you get a feeling or, you know, some sort of vibration from the universe, is like your ego instantly takes over and tries to analyze it and, you know, put it in this category or put it in that category. It's like, but what was that feeling that you had? Like, remember what that feeling was, not what all the chatter in your mind was about. And it says, fuck fear. It will lie to your face. Yeah. Fear. Face everything and run. Or fuck everything and run. You know what I mean? Are you going to face it and rise? A master is not somebody that has never failed. You know, a master doesn't come out of the woodwork knowing how to build like temples or knowing how to do these immaculate like wood carvings, you know? Like a master carpenter has made many hours of mistakes before they actually mastered anything. You know, a master electrician, anybody with a master's degree, you know, it takes hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of dedication and falling on your face and getting back up, and then, you know, falling on your face and getting back up. A master is not someone that's never failed. We got that listen to your voice again. Listen to your inner voice. All right, what can we get from the angels? What do we got from the angel deck for our Cancer collective? Time to go. Woo! The sun sets and rises each day, and it's the same with the avenues of your life. See the beauty within each sunset in your life, and know that the sun will also rise again tomorrow. Endings are merely the start of a new beginning, and we are with you through each phase and each cycle. And remember, if you're needing some sort of spiritual help or spirit, like your angels just can't come meddle in your affairs. You have to actually help them. Like there are rules, you know, of free will, even when it comes to the angels. Just as I said that, I split to ask. That's freaking brilliant. Ask us to help you in this situation, and we will immediately go to work on your behalf. We are governed by many universal laws, and among them is free will that allows you to make your own choices and decisions. So we patiently wait your request. So you have to actually ask. That's crazy. I was just saying those exact words Talk about a universal confirmation. What other sort of messages can we get for the Cancer collective? Cancer. This one. Creative project. Your soul longs to express itself in creative ways. We're guiding you to infuse artistry and creativity into your life. Creative expression makes you feel alive and excited and reignites the passion towards your life, right? Getting that inspired action. There's a difference between like inspired action, that's something, something you see something or you hear something, or like you get some sort of synchronicity and it's like you have to go and do something. I dropped this one. So then what does this one say? Ground yourself. That's it. You're grounded. Go to the corner. When you detach from awareness of your body and the physical world, you become ungrounded. Although it's pleasant to float heavenward, your attention and work are needed upon earth. We're helping you balance the spiritual and material so that you can so you can enjoy a fulfilling earthly life. So some of y'all might just be daydreaming a little too much. You might be sleeping too much. You might be in your head too much. You might not be taking action. You might be neglecting some of your mundane responsibilities. Like, yeah, sure, they're mundane, but cleanliness is godliness and godliness is cleanliness. And it's like when you walk into a nice, fresh, clean, like atmosphere, there's something magical about it, especially when you've put the work in to do it yourself. It might not be pleasant work, but it's got a pleasant outcome. Let's get one more. Joy. Joy is the highest energy of all. It is the magical sense that everything is possible. Joy springs from appreciating the gifts within each moment. Joy allows you to attract and create your present and your future moments at their highest possible levels. Yeah. Being joyful, remembering to enjoy the small things, like none of the planets collided while we were sleeping. The sun came up in the morning and the birds are all chirpy. I used to get mad at the birds, but now I understand why they chirp. My friend was like, I've never met anybody that would yell at the birds, but that's because I was like a night owl, and the birds meant that it was time to wake up. All right, let's move on to Leo. Leo. Why did they do it, Leo? Why did they do it? What sort of messages do we have for the Leo collective? Why did they do it? Seeking higher knowledge. You make them look within. Divine masculine is healing. So maybe some of you have been on this twin flame path, where you believe that you have a twin flame out there that you're supposed to do this godly mission with, and maybe they never even heard of that term twin flame before, and maybe once you broke it down to them, it probably scared the crap out of them. But after a little bit of reflection, they probably went to go look it up, and maybe they're starting to see signs and synchronicities. And then what will people say? Gossip. They're like, this bitch crazy or this dude crazy, saying that I'm their twin flame, talking about 1111, 333, 222, 144, the chosen people, star seeds. They're like, what in the hell? So maybe those were all terms that they had never heard before. And you kind of freaked them out with it. So I think that they've become curious and are starting to look into it. Good vibes, good chemistry. Yeah, and they had some sort of tower moment. They had some sort of out of the blue tower moment that made them want to seek spiritual knowledge, that made them want to understand like more signs and synchronicities from the universe. Like maybe they didn't even contemplate this stuff in the past. They had no clue about any of it. They had no clue about being a star seed. They had no clue about being, a light worker. They had no clue what a twin flame was, and then they had some sort of tower moment, and it's like they're seeking like spiritual guidance. They're starting to do their own research. Which that's the best way to do it. You can't just take someone else's word for it. You got to do your own research. And with your own research and your own questioning, you get your own synchronicities and stuff from the universe. That's one of the coolest things about synchronicities is like they are tailored specifically for you. Like you will sound crazy to anybody else that you try to explain them to, but to you it makes complete sense. That's how special you are to the universe, to God, to the higher, whatever you want to call it. I don't care what name you put on it. But we're so special that it tailors all of these signs and synchronicities for that only we can understand. Nobody's going to understand why you're laughing hysterically in the other room because a song just answered a question that you asked. They'll think you're freaking nuts. And this person probably did think that they were nuts or did think that you were nuts, but they're getting their own like downloads. And they're rereading through some of your texts. They're like, wait, what was that term that she said? What is she talking about? A star seed. The fuck is a star seed? So they're starting to do their own research. And they're going back through some of your texts. And they're like, wow, that actually kind of makes sense. They probably thought that you were out your mind. You started talking all this stuff they didn't understand, but it's all in divine timing. It's all in divine timing. Everything happens exactly the way that it's supposed to. Because if they would have like jumped on that bandwagon, without even knowing what they were getting into, like then it would have crashed and burned anyways, because they didn't really truly understand what it was that you were asking of them or that you were getting involved with. Yeah, you are my spiritual catalyst. Catalyst for spirituality. Thank you. I don't think that they understood anything that you were talking about before. If you mentioned that you thought that this person was your twin flame, like they thought you were batshit crazy. And now they're starting to do their own research and figuring it out for themselves. Like that's the only way they can figure it out is for themselves. If you tell someone all the answers, like sure they might pass the test, but they still don't know how to do the math, which isn't going to help them in the long run. But they think about you all the time. You're the first thing I think about in the morning and the last thing I think about at night. They probably see your name all over the place, They go to work and their new hire is your name, like a vendor comes in and the vendor has your name, they're walking down the street, like thinking about some stuff and like they see a truck drive by and it's got your name on it, and they're like, what in the actual fuck? So then they start doing their own research. But you got to surrender the attachment to the outcome. Like you can't be worried about what they're doing, It is none of your business what they're doing. You keep doing you. You keep doing you. You keep leading by example. It's none of your business what they're doing. Let me get a drink of water. And yes, I'm drinking my water out of a beer mug. They're like the best cups ever. So what else do we got? We got this surrender again. I was just flipping through these and it's just the same thing. So surrender from the attachment of the outcome. All right. Like it doesn't matter what they're doing. You have to surrender to the outcome. Like it doesn't matter if you end up in union with this person or don't end up in union in this person. Like either way, you're on fire and you know it. Either way, you have a divine mission and you know it. Like don't get so caught up in the relationship part that you forget that you have this mission, What can we get? relationship from the angels. It says your primary relationship is with yourself and God, and every other relationship follows from there. To attract, heal, or balance a relationship, then snuggle more closely with your loving creator. As you feel safe and loved within, so shall your other relationships bloom and prosper, right? Like I was saying, it's not about the relationship with this person. It's about the mission that you're on. It's like, who cares what they're doing? Like, you don't have to be in union to complete your mission, you know? Like, we get so caught up, like, once we find out about this twin flame thing, and, you know, we get so caught up in, like, having to be with this other half of ourselves or other half of our soul that, like, we don't even find our other half of our soul because we neglect it so much. And just the prospect of being in a human relationship, you know, we are all human. We're here on a godly mission. So don't neglect your mission. Notice the signs. Yes, the signs you've been receiving are heaven sent. We drop feathers, coins, and other signs upon your path to remind you that you are loved and you are not alone. Let's get one from the Four Agreements. All the magic you possess is based on your word, and you cast spells all the time with your opinions. You can either put a spell on someone with your word, or you can release someone with your word. Our words are powerful. That's why they call it spelling. You know, you got to be careful with what you say. Careful what you ask for, because you just might get it, right? To have great faith is to have great power, because your intent, your will is undivided. When your word isn't dissipated by doubt, the power of your word becomes even stronger. You know, having faith is even when things seemingly aren't going your way, you know. We have a tendency to say, oh yeah, the universe loves me, God loves me, but usually only when it's good. And then as soon as something bad happens, we're like, oh, the universe hates me, like F this or F that, you know. And then all of a sudden, like, it's not always working out in your favor, you know. But if you truly believe that everything works out in your favor, that everything is always working out for me, then you have to believe that even when it's seemingly bad. That's where true faith comes in. It's like everybody shows up to the rain dance, you know, but only one person shows up with an umbrella. Be the person with the umbrella. All right, let's move on to Virgo. Virgo. All right, Virgo, why'd they do it? Why did they do it? What were they thinking? You know what it is. I don't know what it is, but you and universe know what it is. So why'd they do it? Because they're sorry. They feel so much guilt about doing it. Like, they're sorry. I'm sorry. Oops. You know? What does it say? You needed energy clearing. Overwhelmed. Like, maybe they were overwhelmed with guilt about something. They knew they betrayed you, and they're overwhelmed with guilt about betraying you, you know? And they can't look at you. They are overwhelmed with guilt for whatever they did to you. It doesn't say why they did it. We know what they did, universe, but why? Why did they do it? You can't fix me. That's my job. You know, maybe you tried to help them and they didn't want your help, you know? They're like, no, I do it all by myself. And then it all fell apart, and then they're like, they feel bad because they could have really used your help. Surrendering attachment to the outcome. Why'd they do it? It's like it's telling me how they feel about what they did, but not why they did it. It's like they feel guilty about whatever they did, but it doesn't say, it's not telling me why they did that. It just says that they are like guilt ridden. So I mean, if you're asking if they feel bad for what they did, yeah, they feel bad for what they did. You know, will they ever tell you that? Oh, yeah. Eventually they will tell you that. You know? So maybe my Virgo collective isn't asking why they did it. They're asking if they felt bad about it. So if you're wondering if they felt bad about doing you dirty, like, yeah, they feel bad about it. You know, and you're going to have some sort of big talk. They want to talk to you. They want to clear the air. They want to talk to you because they feel so guilty about whatever it was. It's like that guilt is eating them alive. They're obsessed with whatever it was, you know? Like they are obsessed with how bad things turned out, or they are obsessed with, you know, like they are beating themselves up over whatever happened. Or you're beating yourself up. The stink eye. Yeah, you give them the stink eye. Yeah, transformative phase. Temporary separation. And it was a wake-up call to them. Like they never thought that they were going to, you know, be the person to do that. You know, they never thought that they betray you. They really had no intentions of doing that, but, you know, I guess that's just the way that it happened. You know, they're overwhelmed with guilt. Overwhelmed with guilt. Like that's all they think about, you know, is how bad they fucked up. I really don't think that they meant to, you know. Whatever it was, I don't think that they consciously understood what exactly they were doing, you know, or how bad they were fucking it up. But they definitely feel guilty about it, whatever it is. You know, so do they feel bad? Yes. I would say yes. Most definitely yes. You know, and they're doing healing. They're trying to heal from this. They're trying to heal their heart from however they did you dirty. You know, maybe they needed to learn something about that. There was something that they needed to learn in that experience. Hi, Dan. There was something in this experience that they needed to learn. You know, they needed to learn how bad it hurts to betray somebody, you know, because maybe they were the ones that were always betrayed, you know, so they didn't know how bad it was, how bad it really actually hurts to betray someone that you love. You know, sometimes I feel like we need to play every role so that we really understand it, you know, and I think that they had to play that role at this point. Like maybe they were the ones that were so used to being betrayed, they didn't know how much it hurt to really hurt somebody that you love. I mean, I've done it. Like, I've done it, and I will try my damnedest to never do it again. You know, like I learned how bad it hurt not only the other person but myself to betray someone like that. You know, and I don't ever want to be that person again. You know, so maybe there was something that they needed to learn in this situation. You know, they had to be the bad guy. You know, but they're scared of losing everything. It says, I don't want to lose half of everything. You know? They're scared that whatever they did, like, that they've lost you for good. And I feel that they needed to do whatever they did because that was part of their, it was part of their life experience. It was part of their soul purpose to learn what it felt like to be the bad guy. You know, and now they're hurt and they're confused. They're hurt with themselves. They're confused on what to do next. They reread your texts, you know. They reread everything and they can't believe they did this to you. But I feel like it was part of their soul's purpose, you know, one of the lessons that they needed to learn in this life. Like they were so used to being on the other side of the stick that they had no idea what it felt like to be the bad guy. So I think they learned a very valuable lesson, and they definitely feel bad about it. So from the angels, we have play. Beloved one, it is time to set aside work for a while. Don't worry, we will oversee your responsibilities to their completion. Playfulness, gaiety, and laughter will lift your energy so that you can return to work with a renewed perspective and a heightened energy. Cupid, we send great waves of love to your heart and mind, awakening your love to life itself. Your clear decision to accept and enjoy romance has triggered this reawakening. Allow yourself to spontaneously celebrate love in all of its glorious aspects. I mean, and love is more than just related, like romantic love. Love can be love with your children. Love can be love for your siblings, your family members, you know, your best friends, your kitty, your meow kitty, your meow, oh, and a meow. And we got this relationship card again. Your primary relationship is with yourself and God. I don't care if you call it God. I don't care if you call it universe. I don't care if you call it higher spirit. It's like they're all the same thing, just using a different name. So, and every other relationship follows from there. To attract, heal, or balance a relationship, to snuggle more closely with your loving creator. As you feel safe and loved within, so shall your other relationships bloom and prosper. We'll get one from the Four Agreements. And a meow. And a meow meow. Hey meow. He's such a vocal kitty. I can call him from anywhere in the room and he'll answer me. My other cat, my brother's cat, or I call her my kitty's cat. You know, she's actually my cat's cat. She's not my cat, she's not my brother's cat, but she's my cat's cat. She plays fetch. She's pretty cool. Her name is Mojo. And this one's name is Pixie. Like Pixie's mom, I thought was a boy for the longest time. Like she was my best friend who used to live in my backyard. He found her at the train yard and he brought her home, you know, and for the longest time I thought that she was a boy and I called her Orange Face. And then after my best friend had to move out of my backyard, like I was watching the cat and she was super fat, you know, and I was like wearing headphones and I'm just doing yard work and I'm like, what? I was like, what do you have, worms or something, you know? And I go and I'm like, squish, squish, squish. And I was like, holy crap, you're a freaking girl, you know? And then she had babies that day. And this dude ended up coming inside the house and being like my room kitty, you know, and I thought that he was a girl, so I named him Pixie. So we thought his mom was a boy, and I thought that he was a girl. And I just think it's the irony and the fact that he ended up being a boy. So he's a boy named Pixie. All right. This card continuously comes out. So this is a major theme. Find the courage to ask for what you want. Others have the right to tell you yes or no, but you always have the right to ask. Likewise, everybody has the right to ask you for what they want, and you have the right to say yes or no. This has come out for almost every single sign so far. Every single sign. This one. Even the opinions you have about yourself aren't necessarily true. Therefore, you don't need to take whatever you hear in your own mind personally, right? Why so serious? Don't take it personal. Let's get one more. By doing your best over and over, you can master the art of transformation. By doing your best, the habits of misusing your word, taking things personally, and making assumptions will become weaker and less frequent with time. Right? Like being a master of your mind. They will use your love seat as their scratching post, almost guaranteed. Unless you get them like little nail thingies. I have a massage chair. I paid like $800 for this massage chair, and it's like an $800 scratching post. You know, the mechanisms of the chair work great, and they love it. They love to put their little claws into it. Let me see. What other one can we get from the 4 agreements? All people live in their own dream. In their own mind, they are in a completely different world from the one we live in. Right? And then everybody out there has a different, like every single person you run across has a different perspective of you, you know, like they all see a different version. You know, like my mom sees a different version of me than my brother does. My brother sees a different version of me than my son does. My son sees a different version of me than my coworkers do. You know, every single person has a different version of you in their mind. Like even we have a different version of ourselves in our mind. Oh, look, there's Mojo. Mojo. That's my kitty's cat. What others say and do is a projection of their own reality, their own dream. When you are immune to the opinions and actions of others, you won't be the victim of needless suffering, right? When what other people do or whatever other people say is a not your problem, like when you really understand that it's none of my business what somebody is saying about me, it is none of my business what they're over there doing, it is none of my business, and you don't take any of it personally because it ain't none of your business anyways. You know what I mean? Like life becomes a whole hell of a lot simpler and a lot less frustrating and a lot less hurtful because then you don't take it personally. It's like that's a projection of them. That's who they are, not you. Let's move on to Libra. Libra, why did they do it, Libra? What in the hell? Pixie's not fat. She called you fat, Pixie. He's a Turkish van kitty. He's supposed to be big. Or just like his mama with a P-H-A-T. Meow. 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 Hi, meow, meow. Libra. What do we have for the Libra collective? Why did they do it? Why did they do it? Whatever it is, you know what it is. Whatever it is, why did they do it? No. Nope. Why a no? What is this no for? Too many cooks spoil the stew. So maybe they had a bunch of different options. You know, they had too many options. They're all confused, you know, so they went with like the prettiest or the most easily accessible, someone that won't put up with someone that will put up with their bullshit, you know. They went with somebody that's not as smart as you know, not as that, like somebody that's more manipulative or more being able to be manipulated, you know. They had all these options and they picked the one that they could play games with, and the person would let them play those games, you know, and that is definitely a win for you. That is not a loss. But they do still reread your texts, you know. You were too good for them, Libra, and they knew it. They knew that they were not going to get away with whatever bullshit that they were about to pull, you know. So they went with the person that would let them get away with some bullshit. They knew they couldn't pull a fast one on you. So they went with the person that wasn't, didn't have as much emotional integrity, or, didn't know how to stand on their own boundaries. They went with somebody that would wash their laundry at 2 o'clock in the morning. Like, you ain't about to wash nobody's laundry at 2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, forget me. You deserve better. Like, they already knew. Like, they had enough respect for you, Libra, to back down because they already knew that they were going to hurt you. So in all reality, like, you shouldn't even be sad about that. Go let them be with whoever they're going to be with. Like, they had enough respect for the fact that they were going to hurt you and you weren't going to let them get away with it, So they bowed down because you deserve better, Libra. It says you guys are mirroring each other, but I think that's like the opposite. That's like when you go this way, the mirror goes that way. When you go this way, the mirror goes this way. When you do this, they do that. It's like they were doing the exact opposite of whatever you were doing. You were standing there with truth and integrity and, willing to put honesty and love and commitment and, compromise and all of that. And they were doing the exact opposite. So they did you a favor. They did you a giant favor by bowing out, I mean, it might have hurt. You might not understand why, but yeah, they feel guilty about it. They do regret it, but they would much rather like end it before it got too bad or too serious, before they hurt you too bad, because they actually do have respect for you. The person that they're with, like the person that they want to be with, they don't want to respect the person that they're with. Like, they're not trying to play that game yet. They're not at that emotional maturity yet. They would rather be with someone that will wash their clothes at 2 o'clock in the morning if they call them on a whim. They'd rather be with somebody that will let them borrow the car while they go to work all day. They would rather be with somebody that, will let other girls buy them shoes without asking any questions. When you ask them, well, why is this chick bringing you a sandwich? You know what I mean? Like, what are you telling this chick? Like, they don't want their girl to question them. They don't want their girl to have any sort of like self-respect. So they chose the girl that ain't got no self-respect because they have respect for you, So let's get you an angel card. Release and surrender. We shower you with blessings of our radiant love. Open your arms and release the challenges that you've held tightly gripped within your hands. Open your hands, arms, and heart to our love and assistance, right? Like, sometimes God's rejection is God's protection, and sometimes, like, believe it or not, like, I've dated somebody that knew he knew that he was going to hurt me, and I didn't understand it at the time, but like, after reflecting on all of it and like everything that I've learned and everything that I've been through, like, I actually respect the fact that he ended that, because he knew that he was no good. He knew that I deserved better. And whoever you're dealing with knows that you deserve better. It says, let your past go. The burden of carrying your past around has made you weary. It is time to set the burdens down. Keep only the lessons and the love and leave everything else behind. You don't want it or need it, and now it is gone, right? Like, don't be obsessing why he chose this other girl over you, Like, you should almost feel sorry for her. Not to say that you should feel sorry for her, but like, in all reality, like, if you knew the type of crazy shit that he wants to get away with, that you aren't going to put up with, like, you should be thankful that he dipped out of your life. He's really doing you a favor. It's like, I'm feeling things that I've never felt before, and I need time to process. you know, and maybe that's the first time he's ever actually been like, hey, you know, like, I'm going to hurt you, like was honest with himself. Like, I'm going to hurt you, and I respect you too much, and I care too much about you, you know, to let you be hurt like that. So really, he did you a favor. Let's get you one of these 4 agreement cards here. This card again, almost every single sign. I swear to you, I'm not just this card again. It says, find the courage to ask for what you want. Others have the right to tell you yes or no, but you always have the right to ask. Likewise, everybody has the right to ask you for what they want, and you have the right to say yes or no. Like, that has came out for every single sign so far. I'm tired of that card. Give me a different card. I hope everybody's full moon in Sagittarius is sparking something, shaking it up, you know? Speak with integrity. Say only what you mean. Avoid using the word to speak against yourself or to gossip about others. Use the power of your word in the direction of truth and love, right? Like, before you say something, like, is it true? You know? Is it gossip? Is it any of your business? You know? Is it mean? Or is it with love and the truth and, you know, not something that you'll regret saying later? Like, I have S.y.l. tattooed on the inside of my mouth. Say you love is like a reminder that whatever I speak needs to come from the heart, you know? Like, love is unconditional. The who, the where, the what, the when, the why are all conditions of something that just is. Like, we put all these conditions on love, you know? But love is just love. When you stop making assumptions, your word becomes impeccable and your life is completely transformed. Magic just happens in your life. What you need comes to you easily because spirit moves freely through you. See other people as they are without taking it personally. You can never be hurt by what they say or do. Even if others lie to you, it's okay. They are lying to you because they are afraid you will discover that they are in fact not perfect. You know, they lie to you because they're a liar. You know, we are all perfectly imperfect. Ain't not a single one of us perfect, but we're perfectly imperfect. You can't love somebody for who you want them to be. Like, oh, we have a tendency to, like, fall in love with somebody's potential, you know, like, I would love them so much if they would just stop doing this, you know, or if they could just do this a little differently. Like, they would be so perfect if they were, you know, if they would just change, you know. And then if that's the fact, then, like, do we really even love them at all, you know? If we're not truly in love with who they are as a person in that moment, like, do we even truly love them? Or do we love the idea of them? Do we love the potential of them? You know, or do they love the idea of us and the potential of us? You know? Let's move on to Scorpio. Scorpio. Why did they do it, Scorpio? You know what it is, and you want to know why they did it. We had one sign that, you know, it said that they were guilty for doing whatever it was. It didn't explain really why they did it, but we're trying to find out why they did it. Whatever it is for you. Why did they do it? Why did they do it for Scorpio? Scorpio. Why did they do this to Scorpio? What was it? Why did they do it? So small talk, catching up. Let's see what else we got here. You make me look deep within. And boundaries are up, under construction. You know, maybe you made them reflect on themselves, like how, you know, how they just be be letting people walk on them. You know, maybe in some way, like you acted in a way that made them like really take a look at themselves. Like you might have done something that was like, to them, they were like, holy shit, I can't believe you did that. Or I can't believe you said that. Or I can't believe you quit your job. Or I can't believe, you know, you just took a step off that cliff without, you know, any sort of worries, you know. And then they started questioning themselves, like, why am I not that fearless? Why do I not have that faith? You know, why am I people pleasing? Why do I constantly say yes when I want to say no? It's like you made them think about something, you know, and it says spirit speaks to me. You're being guided. So maybe they're getting some sort of signs and synchronicities, you know, like you definitely made them think, oh, and a trigger warning, trauma response, you know, maybe they're going inside. Like maybe they reacted. They just had some sort of reaction to something that you did, you know, and they it surprised them. You know, I have responsibilities. Yeah, they have a responsibility that their trigger is their own problem, that healing their own trauma is their own problem, that they can't freaking bleed on somebody that didn't cut them. You know, they might have been accusing you of some shit, or thinking that you did some shit because somebody else did some shit to them in the past. You know, so then they automatically assume that you're going to do it too. You know, surrender and get in the boat. Yeah, some of them don't have faith like you do. They want to know. They want to know the when, the who, the where, the what, the why. Like they have no real faith like that. Like you might just be super full of faith. Like you wholeheartedly trust and believe in spirit and universe, and like they don't understand it. They don't understand how you have that much faith. You know, they need to know. They need to know the whole plan. They need to know exactly how they're getting there. They need to know what car they're driving, what boat they're in. You know, like they have to have it all, like, and that's actually a trauma trigger response all by itself, you know? So I think you're really making them reflect on how they react to stuff, how they act to stuff. Right? I'm pretty much a Scorpio. I have so much Scorpio in my chart. Like my Venus is in Scorpio. My I have like a stellium in Scorpio. And if Scorpios love deep, they love deep. And an unhealed Scorpio will ruin your motherfucking world if you do them wrong. Some of them might have thought that you put some sort of spell on them because they can't stop thinking about you, you know? It's like, but you're just minding your own business. You know, they see your name everywhere. You know, they see your face everywhere, and they can't figure out why. So they're accusing you of putting some sort of black magic on them. You know, they don't understand why they have such a deep connection to you. So they think that you put a spell on them. I've actually had people accuse me of that before. You know, like, I can't love you. I don't know why I love you. You must have put a spell on me. You know, like, no, I know better than that. That shit will backfire every fucking time. Yeah, I think this person like reacted, like it was just like some sort of reaction that they had to some sort of trigger response, but then they see how you act and like how you handle yourself, and it makes them look at themselves. They want to know where you got all your faith from. They want to know, like, how come you're not, you know, freaking out over, you know, something that seemingly you should be freaking out over. They want to know how you learned how to do that, you know. So they're like taking a real deep look inside themselves. But I definitely feel like they cut, like you didn't cut them, but they bled all over you. You know, it wasn't you that did the cheating. It wasn't you that, you know, that betrayed them, but they want to put a tracking app on your phone. You know, they want to follow you around and act like you're being shady because that's the way it was in their past. You know, but it wasn't you that did that. So they definitely haven't healed from whatever trauma it was that they had happened to them before. And now they're suspicious of everything. card shouldn't be in there. Now they're suspicious. So once again, it wasn't anything that you did. It was their own shit. And once you learn how to take other people's shit not personally, then you know that it's their own shit. Like, oh, that's a them problem, you know? It's a them problem, not a you problem. Too many cooks ruin the stew. So they might have had a bunch of people in their ear telling them some bullshit, you know? Oh, did you know that back in the day this chick used to do this and this? Or did you hear that they, you know, like there's a bunch of gossip in the background. You know, somebody's trying to out there sabotage you or put dirt on your name. You know what I mean? And they didn't even stick around to find out if it was true because of the situation that happened to them in the past. You know, they just automatically believe all of their friends or all their homies or whatever, you know, and didn't even give you a chance. It's like they didn't even give you a chance. What information do we have from the angels? Oh no, let's go with the rebel. What sort of information can we get from the rebels? This guy. Believe what you see. Face reality or live in la la land. You know, some people live so hardcore in la la land. You know, but that's the other thing too about not having clear communication. Like if you don't actually ask somebody what's going on, then do you know how many crazy, like, I'm going to use a mom as an example. You know, if you don't hear from your son or whatever, then all of a sudden they're like in a ditch somewhere or, you know, got into a car accident or whatever. You have all these crazy scenarios that go into your head because your mind's just filling in the pieces. So if you don't ask somebody something and you don't get a clear response, then your imagination's just filling in the pieces. And I think their imagination was definitely filling in some pieces as part of a trigger, like a trauma response. But that's not a you problem because they never asked. You know, and if they keep doing that, it says shit's going to get ugly. They're being shady. They think you're being shady. But they're not asking. They're just filling in all the pieces in their own head. Thank you, Dan. It is an honor to be back. Like, it's an honor that you're here, but it's also my honor to be here. So I really appreciate you. This says you need a good cry. Get the ugly cry on. Let that shit go. Your soul will thank you later. You know, go into the shower if you have to. You know what I mean? Like, so people don't be asking you what you're crying about. Sometimes we don't even know what we're crying about. Sometimes we just need to cry. You know? I've definitely had them ugly cries in the shower, you know, but you're scared to tell anybody that you have anything wrong, you know, because you're so used to being the rock. It's like, how can the rock fall apart? Like, everybody needs me. I'm the one that provides. I'm the one that's there for everybody else, you know, like I can't fall apart, you know, so like you silently cry to yourself. And if you think someone's lying, they are. They are. Says, get outside and move your booty. Move your booty. Hey, hey, move your booty. Because your body is mad at you. It's pissed at you, actually. Ooh, and worry about that money. Get that money, girl. Get that money, boy. Boy, gonna make it rain. And not with those imaginary, the guns that you see that you put all the fake dollar bills in and let it all fly around. Not like that either. It's not imaginary money. We ain't playing with no Play-Doh money. No Monopoly money. All right, let's go on to Sagittarius. Thank you guys so much for being here. Sagittarius. Why did they do it, Sag? Why did they do it? Sagittarius. Sagittarius. Why did they do it? What in the tarnation? It's like the universe says, here, hold my human, watch this. You know what I mean? Hold my human real quick. I got some shit to do. All right, Sagittarius, focus. Focus. Sagittarius, what do we got for Sagittarius? Why'd they do it? You know what it is. Ooh, mirror. They're doing the opposite of whatever you're doing. So if you're running, they're chasing. If they're chasing, you're running. You know? If you want to be committed, they don't want to be committed. If they want to be committed, you don't want to be committed. It's like you have this push-pull energy going on. But they feel like you're home. You know what I mean? Or they feel like home is with you. Wherever you are is where home's at. No matter what that push-pull they got going on. Like you make them feel like they can be themselves with you. But there's that push-pull energy. And they do feel sorry for what they did to you. Like if they ghosted you or, you know, they started talking to somebody else or whatever they did, they do feel sorry for it. So if you're asking if they feel sorry for it, yeah. But does that mean they learned anything? I don't know. We'll find out. Yeah. Runner, chaser. Runner, chaser. Like they scared. Runs faster, scared. They run faster, scared. Everybody be running faster, scared. Ooh, some of you might have somebody that is in a relationship. They might be playing these games because they are already committed to someone else. And they just, forgot to tell you. You know? Oops. I know that's not going to resonate for everybody, but there's somebody out there that this fool is playing games because they are already committed. But you're definitely on their mind. You are the first thing they think about and the last thing they think about, and like pretty much all day long. Shine your light to find my way so I can find my way. Some of them probably need you to show them like how it's really done. Some of them probably really need you to show them what it's like to step up and stand on your own boundaries, you know? Some of them might really need you to show them like, hey, I will not be disrespected, you know? Like, I ain't going to put up with that shit, you know? Maybe they've never had a woman that'll do that. It says, I am awakening, transforming, and ascending. Clearing karma. So some of them might be still stuck with the karmic partner. And I don't mean like karmic is bad. I mean, you want whoever your person, like who your person is to be, like when you get with them, you want all that karmic shit to be done. You know, you want them to get their lessons out. You want them to learn whatever they need to learn before they end up with you, you know? So if they're in a relationship and they're still entertaining like some sort of karmic partner, like that's actually good for you because you need them to get that out of the way anyways. You need them to get that out of the way. You don't need them to be learning those lessons with you. You know what I mean? Like when they come together with you, you need them to be healed. You need them to have, you know, understand how to respect boundaries, understand how to set boundaries. Like you need them to have all of them back and forth, like life lessons, like already done with, you know, like already been around the block, already played these games. I ain't playing that game. So if they're still in a karmic relationship, you know, and some of you guys might find that triggering. And if you find it triggering that, you know, that it's a good thing that they're with someone else because they got some shit that they need to heal, then go inside yourself and find out why that bothers you, you know? But for reals, like, you don't want them to be with you right now anyways, because if they're still with somebody else, even though, I mean, ultimately that's a big hard no anyways, but that means that they still got some stuff that they need to learn. So let them go figure it out. Yeah. It says you deserve better. You deserve better. They're still with some sort of karmic partner, and you deserve better. And it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Like, let both of them figure out their karma with each other so that they can have a more healthy, you can have a more healthy, healed, balanced version of them, because they still got some stuff that they're figuring out. But you guys are divine. Like, you guys are a high-level soulmates, and that means it's super important that they figure their karma out with their other life lessons that they need to figure out. Like, that's super important that they get that out of the way before they better come right to you. They got to come right when they come at you this time, So they did it because they weren't done learning their lessons. They still had some shit they needed to learn. What do the angels got to say for Sagittarius collective? This one flipped. Perfect timing. Yeah, exactly. It wasn't time. They still got some shit they got to do. Now is the perfect moment for you to act on your inspirations. The doors are open while you walk through them with us by your side. Don't delay or procrastinate, as all of the ingredients are ripe for your success. Everything and everyone is on your side, supporting your positive outcome. But divine timing, blessings in disguise. What appears to be a problem is actually part of the answered prayer. You'll understand the reason behind your present situation as everything resolves. Trust in heaven's protection and infinite wisdom to answer your prayers in the best way possible. And steady progress. Like, these all coincide with what I was just saying. We acknowledge you for the progress that you've made in remembering love in your daily activities. We can clearly see our contribution you are making to the world through your thoughts, feelings, and actions of love. So I think you are making steady progress, and they're making steady progress, but there's just some shit that ain't done yet, There's everything happens in divine timing, and you got to trust that process, because if you got them right now, like, they ain't ripe yet, And if you pluck them from that tree, then they ain't ever going to get ripe. You'll have this bitter fruit that you can't put back and let it grow back on the tree because you already done picked it. So don't pick it before it's ripe. All right, let's go on to Capricorn. Capricorn. Why did they do it, Capricorn? Why'd they do it? Why in the fuck did they do that? Let's see what we got. Capricorn. What do we have for the Capricorn collective? Why'd they do it? You know what it is. Whatever it is that you're questioning. Let's find out why. What were the secret reasons behind it? Thank you guys so much for being here. It's truly an honor to read for you, to be here. I appreciate you in my life so much. What do we got? Capricorn. Why did they do it? I needed to focus on me. I need to focus on me right now. Reconnection and communication. Like, maybe somebody tried to reconnect with them from their past, and they felt like They felt like it was unfair to be still pursuing you if they're still pursuing somebody else or still have feelings for somebody else. You know, maybe a long lost love of theirs hit them up. And they have to go see if there's feelings there. You know, in all reality, you would want them to do that. You know, because if they don't know that you are 100% the one, you know, if they have any questions about it, then they need to go figure that out. Like if they don't claim you like a crackhead claims $100 bill on the ground, then deuces. Yeah, boundaries are up, under construction. I think some long lost like love got a hold of them, or they still have some sort of feelings for some long lost love, you know, that they're entertaining. Yeah, their heart is stuck on something else. It says my heart is stuck on you, but really I feel like their heart is stuck on something else. You know, and it was probably somebody that did them dirty in the past, you know, that they can't let go of. But they can't let go of it. I mean, and like I said, if they don't claim you like a crackhead claims $100 bill they just found on the ground, you know, then by all means, like they need to explore other options. And you should be thanking them for letting you go then. You know what I mean? I mean, this person might just end up being a booty call, or maybe this person that's in their inbox is just a booty call. You know, they probably don't even have the same feelings that your person has for them. Like your person's probably has been in love with them forever and ever and ever, you know, and has never let them go and has all these crazy fantasies in their head about like how wonderful it could be, you know, they have all these scenarios, but that the other person doesn't think of them like that, you know. They think of them like some booty call. But they're gonna have to get it out of their system. Yeah, I think they're coming in a reunion with someone from their past. They did it because someone from their past hit them up. And they wanted to jump on that opportunity. They wanted to jump on that opportunity. And the spirit speaks to you, being guided by the moon. Look at that moon. It's the full moon today. Full moon in Sagittarius. That full moon is shaking things up, man. Shake, rattle, and roll. Gotta shake it up. Shake it up. But they do, like, I think that it has to do with some sort of past person. Some sort of past person ended up in their inbox, you know, and they're reminiscing about the good old times. So they figured that they would give this a shot. And still, once again, that is not your fault. That is not your fault. It's never that you aren't good enough. You are more than good enough. You have a soulmate, a high-level twin flame soulmate counterpart, you know? And if somebody leaves your life that's not for you, like they're doing you a favor, because the less time that you could spend focusing on someone that ain't for you, the more time you have to have someone that is for you. But I really feel like this person got hit up by some old flame of theirs. You know, if like all of a sudden they started acting shady to you and then bounced, or like some old partner hit them up in their inbox and they wanted to see what sort of potential there was between them. And that is not a you problem. They're doing you a favor, because whatever's not for you needs to be out of your way anyways, so that what is for you can actually make its way in. So you spend so much time worried about this person that's worried about someone else, then, I mean, when is your person actually going to have a chance to make it through, you know? And it's not your fault. You are good enough. the ocean, the deep blue the deep blue sea speaks to your soul, healing and soothing you. Even the act of imagining yourself dipping into healing wombs brings about desired effects. Better yet, spend some physical time near the ocean. Allow its power and beauty to wash away all cares and concerns. Like I remember doing like meditations where you like walk through the forest and you end up at this river and you just imagine like every negative thing that you can think of, and you put this big ball of energy into the river or into a creek and you flow it down the creek. You let it wash out of you and you actually imagine it flowing out away from you. Some of you made to go. You can even do that in the shower. As you're taking a shower, you can have all the negativity wash off of you and then be replenished with clean, water, and have it just run down that drain. Whatever you cannot control that is stressing you out, have it wash off of you into the drain. Release to the ocean. What else do we got? Have confidence. Moving forward does not necessarily require you to have confidence in yourself. Confidence in God, so faith. Got to have faith, along with knowing that God works through you and with you in all ways. Lean upon us if your confidence wavers, and we will. What the hell does that say? Oh, boy, your courage and faith. My bad. English words. So they're saying to have faith. And faith isn't like, faith is showing up to a rain dance with an umbrella. Everybody says they have faith, but only one person shows up with an umbrella. Blessings in disguise. What appears to be a problem actually is part of your answered prayer. I mean, who would have? Sometimes we never would have guessed, like my son's roommate, like they woke up in the morning and someone had smashed into her car. Her car was completely freaking totaled and she was devastated, but she ended up getting a brand new car out of it, a brand new badass car out of it, so not everything. Sometimes the biggest problems in your life, the most terrible things that happen, end up turning out to be the biggest blessing that ever did happen. I have homies that have been to jail, and they were pissed when they went to jail, but it turned out to be the best thing that could have ever happened to them, because it sobered them up, it got them out of trouble, they cleared their warrants, you know what I mean? Like sometimes what is seemingly the worst thing to happen to you is actually the best thing that happened to you. Trust in heaven's infinite protection and wisdom to answer your prayers in the best way possible. Yeah, sometimes the seemingly the worst things that to happen end up being the very best possible possibility. All right, let's get one from the 4 agreements. Keep your attention on today and stay in the present moment. This is the beginning of a new understanding, a new dream. So yeah, yesterday's gone. That's how we relive trauma over and over again. That's what CPTSD is. It's because your body doesn't know that yesterday is gone. Your body doesn't know that trauma is not happening. Your body doesn't know that you're safe. You have to remind yourself that you're safe and that you're not living in, you're not living in that danger, or that you're happy. You're happy in this moment. Like if you're feeling super depressed, and it has something to do with the past, like take a minute to look at the present moment. Like look around you. Is there anything bad happening right now? Is there anybody trying to hurt you right now? Like remind yourself to be in the present, because the past is gone and the future hasn't happened yet. All we have is the now. And the more we focus on the now, it makes that much more of the future better. When you see other people as they are without taking it personally, you can never be hurt by what they say or do. Even if others lie to you, it is okay. They are lying to you because they are afraid you will discover that they are not perfect. Right? They are lying to you because they're a liar. And that is not a you problem. Like, you're not the liar, Don't take it personally. That shows who they are, not who you are. All right, let's move on to Aquarius. Aquarius. Why'd they do it? What the fuck, universe? Why the fuck would they do this? Why you do this? Why you do this? Why they do this for Aquarius? So if we could get some sort of answers. Why you do this? We have obsessed. Let's see what else we can get. Awakening, transforming, ascending, clearing karma, soul contract. Woo! So some of y'all had a soul contract with this person, you know? And maybe that contract ended. Or maybe they have a soul contract with another person that they need to end. Like somehow or another, we got the tower on the end at the bottom of the deck. You know? Something was built on some sort of faulty foundation. Like towers only fall when they're built on faulty foundations. You can't go building a freaking giant building in the swamp, you know, and expect it to stay standing. Like that was built on some sort of faulty foundation. And they're holding the responsibility for it. Whatever they did, they're holding it. That's their burden. They're carrying it around. You know, if they made that tower fall, if they repeated some sort of cycle that they needed to learn from, like they're definitely holding themselves accountable for whatever stupid shit they did. Sometimes we got to do stupid shit just so we can stop. Like sometimes we have to make a complete fool out of ourselves, you know, and be the fucking fool before we realize what it is we're doing. Like, oh shit, I'm a motherfucking fool. You know, I shouldn't be doing that. You know, sometimes like maybe this person had to be a fool. So spirit speaks to me. Being guided. So they had some sort of soul contract. They have a soul contract with you or someone else that wasn't completed. And there's that looking deep at themselves card again. That one seems to be coming up a lot. You know, looking at themselves in the mirror, telling themselves like, fuck, like you're an idiot. I fucked up, you know? Like, why would you do that to this person? They feel bad about it. And they're under construction. Under construction. But sometimes, like I wouldn't have stopped being a fool if I didn't realize that I was being a fool. Like, sometimes I have to make a complete ass out of myself before I was like, wait. What am I doing? Why would I do that? You know, they feel like you're better off without them. You know, they don't feel like they're good enough for you. And maybe they have some insecurity issues. You know, but that's not a you problem. That is a them problem. And you can't fix that problem for them. And you are the catalyst for my spiritual growth. You know, if they wouldn't have done this, they never would have grown. If they wouldn't have made a complete fool out of themselves, you know what I mean, and completely fuck shit up, they never would have learned. They never would have learned what not to do. You know, but they had to do it in order to learn it. You know, you can't just copy off of someone else's math test and expect to learn how to do the math. Like, sure, you might pass the test, but you don't know how to do the math. Like I was saying, I can't remember who I was saying this to earlier, but sometimes we have to play all parts of the play. We have to be the victim, we have to be the advocate, we have to be the heroine, we have to be the betrayer, we have to be the betrayed, you know? And I think whatever this person did was part of their soul contract. Like they had to know what not to do in order to know what not to do. It was part of their soul purpose, part of y'all's contract together. You know, but you can't take it personally. But they do think about you all the time. All the time. You know, your name pops up everywhere. Everywhere. And it used to drive them crazy, but now they just laugh about it. Nope, 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 nope. They're like, should I contact this person? Nope, 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 nope. Can't do that. Can't be doing all that. Why? Because they learned something. They learned something about how they acted or what they did, and they don't feel like they can contact you. They don't think that you want anything to do with them. Betrayal. But who are they betraying? Are they betraying themselves? Did they betray themselves by betraying you? You know? Are they betraying themselves by not reaching out to you? Are they betraying this soul contract they got? We both need to do more healing before we can even consider this. So yeah, you guys had a lot to teach each other. My computer is going to die. Give me 1 second. I forgot to plug it in. Go figure. 1 second, guys. Sorry. Unlike a laptop, it should totally just be working wherever, right? You don't have to plug a laptop in. Why plug in the laptop? Uh-oh. Do I have a cord? Ruh-roh. Ooh. I don't know. I might have to hurry up and do Pisces. I don't have a cord over here. Okay, I've got 1 minute left. This is the 1 minute countdown. So we're going to do Pisces. My bad, guys. Pisces. Why did they do this to you? Transformation phase. Because they were turning into a butterfly. Or they're going in as a cocoon. Healing me. Healing me. They're going into cocoon phase. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Yep, 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 yep. Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. Crap, guys. My bad. I'm going to totally have to stop this and do Pisces once again as a special. My computer's totally going to die. So I love you guys, and I will talk to you soon, and I will get this plug thing figured out. My bad.